Little update on what I've done so far. As we can see, I've put proper control horns. I've also used CA hinges instead of the foam just being used as a hinge there. As we can see, it's proper control horns and push rods ends, which I've just attached to the original push rods. The little bit of damage on the tail where it was crushed, I've used the hot water method and it looks a lot better now. It's come out nicely. Underneath, the tail wheels are fixed. You can probably just see the new bearers underneath there. I'm still not sure which direction it's supposed to go, but you can always find out. Excuse me for messing them out. And as you can see, it's all nicely done. What I've done with the tail wheel is I've used one of the other retractable undercarriage units, because they're all identical. The mains are identical to the tail wheel, and I've used the one that had a good connection for the mains. And this one, what I did was I just spliced a different connection and I didn't bother doing it properly. So if this fails, it's not particularly tragic for the model. It's raised it up quite a bit, so it's clearing the servo underneath, and it's just slightly proud. There, you can just about see the tail wheel just poking out a little bit, but you won't notice that in the air. I've used cable keepers so as they can't pull apart, because obviously when this is stuck on, there's not much to get hold of inside the fuselage when it's all in. And some of the, like I say, some of the connections are a bit dodgy, but I've gone with these so far. These are the ones that were decent, and I've got some replacement ones if I find anything on the wings. Just as a point of interest, this is the original prop. As you can see, it's a big 4-bladed beastie, and it's a moulding, a 2-part moulding, which is held together by 4 screws which keep the individual blades in place. It's quite heavy actually, and I can't see it being very efficient. On the other forums they all say that the model's not particularly quick with this. It's better going with the 2-blader, so I'm sticking with the original plan to go away with this and use a 2-blade propeller. It's a shame really, because it does look quite good, but in the air when it's whizzing around you can't tell that it's 4 or 2 blades anyway. That's for that bit now. Now here's the wings. I've tested the servos to make sure they work okay and not doing anything strange, and they seem okay. I've stuck with the original servos apart from one which for the steerable tail wheel. I've put a bit of better quality one which aren't kicking around, a 9-gram one, so that might make a difference. I've done the same with the flaps. I've put regular control horns on. Same with the ailerons. So you can see they've got plates at the back, make them far more secure. That just wants tidying up a little bit obviously. And as you can see, I've used CA hinges. Same again for the flaps, a lot more freer now. And also with the ailerons. I've not done an awful lot on the wing. I haven't tidied it up. What I did do was, while I had the flap detached from the wing, I actually used the hot water treatment on that as well, and it has gone more or less back to shape now. That is actually quite smooth. It's just the residue paint that I didn't scrape off, but as you can see it's popped back out, so it's back to how it was before really. As I said earlier on, I'm going to use a method which another guy on the forums used a couple of ply plates with bolts going through and ply plate on the underneath to just hold the wings in place, because obviously there's steel piano wire rods go through, plus there's like a carbon fibre tube that goes through the fuselage. I'll show you that later. But all you're doing is actually holding the wings against the fuselage so they don't move away. So I might put some earth magnets on this bit just to stop it pulling away, but the guy says it works quite well, and only disadvantage I could see with it is maybe with a bit of flexing you might get a bit of movement here and eventually it might go a bit sloppy, but if that happens you can always stick them in permanently and have to make do with messing about getting in the car, obviously. So that's how far I've got with the wings. Just a little pointer about the wings. The undercarriage units, there's a couple of wooden bearers. Now they seem really well stuck in on this. Some people's had problems where on the first couple of landings they've actually managed to rip them out. So I think they've done quite a good job there. I can't get any movement or anything on it, so hopefully they'll do the job, and hopefully the retracts will be up to the job as well. If not, I'll have to consider investing in some E-flite ones, which I've got a pair recently for my Hurricane. Right, that's that bit. Now these are the exhaust stacks, the scale ones. They actually fit into a recess. That chunky bit goes into a recess in the nose, which I'll show later on in the video. But they are just ordinary foam, and even the stubs are just a foam moulding, which are very, very weak. I found a couple of them were actually cracked across there. So what I've done is I've just stuck that back on with some CA, and then I've just put a coat of epoxy over just to give it some rigidity. So it's now like that bit's like a plastic moulding now, so they shouldn't knock off or break off easily. They're a bit shiny because it's epoxy, but there will be the a darker black or whatever colour I decide to do, rusty red, whatever exhaust colour the Mustang used to be. I'm not too fussed about exact scale detail on this, as it's only semi-scale. And I've gone with a Pilot. Fortunately I painted him in this light and he's a bit yellow, so he wants a little bit more fleshy colour on his face really. But if you notice, he's a British Pilot because I'm actually going to change the colour scheme, because in my opinion the Mustang, it's the airframe that's American, but the heart of the plane is a British designed Rolls-Royce engine. So to me it's more English than American, so it will be in the RAF colours, light war colours, nothing fancy like RAF aircraft aren't usually fancy. So that's what I'll be doing. So that's it up to press. Now then, just a quick look at the fuse. That's the canopy that's just in place temporarily with a bit of sellotape, just to see how it looked. And it's not too bad. You can still see the crease on the other side, but it's not too bad. There are the recesses for the exhaust stubs, and that's the nose. What I'm actually doing on the nose is I have made a bit of a template for the nose, because there's about 1/8 of an inch gap between the back of the spinner and the nose. So I'm just going to make a bit of packing. I've laminated a few bits of ply to give a bit of thickness, and I will make that into a shape to go on the nose and stick it on and fill it in and everything. So I'll just make the nose a bit more au fait, and it'll bring it down a little bit as well onto the spinner, because I think the spinner's slightly undersized. I'm going to use a bigger one, but the commercial ones aren't really the correct shape, so I won't be bothering with that. So that's how far we've got with the fuse. Now then, we're just looking at this park zone. As a lot of you'll know, it's a World War I Albatross done in the colours of von Richthofen, and really I'm just showing you the fact that they are using proper control horns. They do use a foam hinge, but it's obvious it's a lot smaller model and the foam quality is a lot better. and they do use proper control rods like I've added to the Mustang. So Hobbyking, really, you should take a leaf out of some of these guys' books. And okay, your products are dead cheap, but if I buy a cheap car, I still expect it to go on the road and not break down or bits drop off it. So the argument about, well, you know, you're paying price of a Mini compared to a Rolls Royce sort of argument as for quality of model aeroplanes, it just doesn't wear with me. You might be paying for a bit less sophistication, a bit less scale or something like that, but in my opinion the product should be up to the job, i.e. it should be able to fly and fly safely with the bits and bobs that's supplied with it. Not many ARTFs do, I know that. Every ARTF has its little foibles. This baby, for instance, a lot of people have been reporting that after 50 or so flights, something like that, you're getting a bit of cracking on the K-bane struts under there. But that could just be due to anything, over tightening screws, heavy landings, you know, vibration, anything like that. So, you know, every model has its foibles. But when a model comes and it's absolutely a mess and you have to completely rework it and redesign it, I think, you know, that needs looking at. Oh, just an afterthought, I got the light post from Hobbyking, the nanotech efforts 40.8 volt things. When I went to charge it and then to check the balance using the balance plug, the black wire on the balance plug actually pushed out as I pushed the connector into the balance board. So that doesn't inspire confidence in the LiPo either. But I have got that back in place and it seems to be functioning okay and holding its charge, etc. So we shall see. More later. It's a bit spasmodic, my videos. You see one and don't see one for a while. Personal reasons for that, obviously. But right, thanks if you're watching. Thank you very much. Bye.